13th of February, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Hey, welcome back to everybody.
And I'm here now.
Thank you, Rabbi. Welcome back to you.
Okay, so where are we holding over here?
Yeah, Alan's back.
I'm back.
Oh, good.
I got relieved because
Morning, Alan.
morning.
Okay, so let's see. I
think we were 98.3, weren't we?
I have 90B1.
So do I.
B1, okay.
We've gone through the Mishnah. We're going through the Mishnah.
Yeah, I think we're
Going through the Mishnah. Yeah, we're going through the Mishnah, right? Okay. Right. Okay, so we were up to, I think, Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva said, "Afilu anim shabi Yisrael roinu sam ki'ilu hein b'nei chorim min sheyordu mimechseihem v'heim b'nei Avram Yitzchak v'Yakov." Okay. Oh no, we went further than that. Oh yeah, of course. We did this this case. There was a masa with Rebbe Akiva, and the man that took off the head covering of a certain woman in the marketplace.
Right.
He did that. Right.
Yes.
And
So
then,
we did
she showed that she didn't care about her honor, and he ruled that it didn't matter.
Right. In other words, a very interesting proof that he had over here, Rebbe Akiva. What was his proof? His proof is even if somebody is a chovel ba'atzmo, he afflicts himself, he wounds himself. Apopisha eno rishai, even though he himself is not allowed to do that to himself. Potter. We don't. He's potter from what? What is he potter from?
We don't penalize him for the fact that he wasn't allowed to do it.
Now, so I said the other day, it's obvious that we're not going to charge him the amount of damages for the wound, because who is he going to pay that? Who's going to pay it to? He only pay it to himself. So maybe what it means over here is that he's potter from some other type of an onish. What other onish would he be exempting himself from? I don't know exactly. But it's an interesting. I don't see Rashi says anything about this over here. Do they say anything in the art skill? Did they explain what does it mean that he's potter?
No. No,
It says that there's a Rashi that says that the Gemora is going to identify the prohibition.
Oh, okay.
there's a Gemara on 91b.
Okay, so he's potter from the consequences of violating the 91b.
And on the one about the saplings, it says that he's exempt from payment. The footnote says, one who needlessly destroys fruit trees violates the prohibition, you shall not destroy its trees. So I guess the point, I think, is that he could be fined by the city because he has hurt the city by cutting down the fruit trees.
What if it's his own? Has he violated the prohibition, the Torah prohibition? If it's in his backyard, so his own tree.
Well, there's a Rashi on it. That's what I would think, because it says he cuts down his own saplings. The word "own" is not bold, so it's probably coming from Rashi. Even though he is not permitted to do so, he is exempt from payment, and from payment is also not bold.
In Kotzeitz Medatios, Ein Rishai the over Babal Tashkis, says Rashi in our Gemora.
It says he's not liable for any damages, but if someone else cuts down, they're liable.
Okay.
This note says, even though the person does not seem to care about his own saplings, if he cuts some down himself, others who do the same thing to his remaining saplings are obligated to pay. One who damages a sapling in the first year of growth that belongs to someone else must pay 2 silver coins. And it's Rashi from above 58b. So that was way back.
Okay. Good. So in other words, even though he's going to be exempt for doing it to himself, but if somebody else would do it to his sapling or to his body, they'd be obligated to pay for it. So therefore, Rabbi Kiva is saying, what's difference whether she's not particular about removing her own hair covering and causing herself embarrassment. But just like we see when it comes to cases of causing various forms of other damages, we see that even though the person himself will be exempt, but if somebody else does it to him, we see that the other person has to pay for any damages that there are. Now, it could be. I mean, okay. That's how much does it say? Oh yeah, it says that Rabbi Kiva obligated the man to pay 400 zuz. 400 zuz. So now, in the matter of damage, when it comes to damaging a tree or damaging an individual by wounding him, so I understand that even if he would do it to himself and he'd be exempt, but if somebody else would do it to him, there's an objective standard of damage, right? We would say, well, how much is he worth less in the shuk if he would be sold as a slave when he has this damage, when he has this wound, right? So that's an objective standard that doesn't matter on the individual. But over here, when we're talking about removing the hair covering of the woman, what's the damage that's been done over here? What which one of the categories of the 5 categories of damages are we compensating her? We're compensating her for bullshit, for shame and embarrassment. And we said that, so you know what? Maybe Rebbe Kiva holds that there's a standard, there's a fixed amount. There's a fixed amount if a person will do the following thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if that's what he did, so that's what he pays. We don't go into an analysis of how much boshis the woman suffered. But in any case, I don't think that I don't understand really the Rebbe Kiva's proof from a case of damage. Because damages are an objective thing. There's a standard value according to the shuk, I would think.
I think Rabbi Akiva is just using the precedent to say that the fact that a person will do something to themselves does not mean that somebody else can do the same thing to them.
Okay, but 400 zuz worth? That's the question I'm asking.
It's irrelevant whether she would do it to herself or not. The 400 zuz is the fine for doing this action, and the fact that she debased herself is totally irrelevant. It has no effect on the issue.
That would only be if it was it would only be if it's okay. If in fact Rebbe Kiva holds that it's a fixed amount for every person, regardless of how embarrassed that they feel, then you'd be right.
And if they don't feel embarrassed at all?
Well, that's the point. Presumably, we would have to say over here that, I think it is different. It is different if someone does something to themselves and somebody else does it to them. I think there is a difference.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that she did it, and in the story you see that the reason that she did it is to save the oil. There was a reason why she did it, but just to have somebody, and also it was not in the shuk. It was in a semi-private place. It was in her chutzner. It was in her courtyard. So it's not exactly the same thing as the shuk.
Yeah, the entrance of her courtyard.
Yeah. So there's not hundreds of people over there, and in the shuk there was no purpose for it whatsoever. And no purpose was served in the removal, and it was done by someone else, which I would think, even if a person wasn't, obviously, if a woman is a woman who under no circumstances removes her hair covering, then of course, then that's. But we see that this is not the situation with this woman. We see that in a semi-private area, when there was a need, she did remove it. But that doesn't mean that she would do so. That doesn't mean that it's a far cry from saying that she has no embarrassment whatsoever if a strange man comes and does that to her in the middle of the shuk. see, the point is, I think that what Rebbe Akiva is saying over here is that you cannot say that you cannot say that since she does it to herself, then there's no payment whatsoever. You can't say that there's no payment whatsoever, because that's not a defense, because even somebody who wounds himself will be compensated if someone else does it. So something is going to be paid. How much is going to be paid? So that's it would seem that Rebbe Akiva holds that there's a fixed amount. It doesn't matter whether the person is it doesn't matter how much the person is embarrassed. But the act itself is an embarrassing act, which the person doesn't want somebody else to do so, even if they may do it to themselves, and therefore there should be a payment. There should be a payment. There should be a payment.
To whom?
To the woman that whose hair covering was removed.
But if she does it herself, to the Sanhedrin.
No, then there's no payment in that case. There's no payment.
Mm-hmm.
The whole issue when a person wounds himself, and it says over here in our Gemora, it says that he's potter. It doesn't make sense that it's talking about a monetary. I don't know what it's talking about. Not sure.
Right.
I don't know. But so we'll see. We'll see if this is a subject of interest on 91A. We'll see.
I assume that if there's a matter of urgency, say the woman's head covering caught fire or something like that, that's no problem there.
What's that?
I assume it's a matter of urgency, such as for example, somehow the woman's hair caught fire. She passed by a lamp or something, and it would have to be removed from her head quickly, and a stranger sort of saw that and did that. There would be no problem there.
What? Removing the hair covering will if the hair covering is on fire?
Yeah. So I see the woman in front of me has got her hair on fire because she passed by a lamp. Okay, the lamp was hanging out the store, and the breeze, she got her hair was on fire. So I mean, I would have to take it off her head.
It depends. Is it Hanukkah?
Doesn't matter. But I would assume that I wouldn't get into trouble for doing that under those sorts of circumstances.
Uh-huh.
Even if she was embarrassed by it.
Why did she not take the hair covering off herself?
She didn't know at that moment.
Tell her.
And then she was hysterical and didn't know what to do.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this is just a setup, but nonetheless, the idea is there, I think. Yeah. Anyway.
And what she's gonna catch on fire. She's gonna die if this happens. Nobody does anything.
Could be.
She
Could she be?
We don't know.
Severely burnt. should be severely burnt.
Suffolk, it's the
Rescued.
Suffolk Seconus Nefashis, want to
Right.
say.
Right.
It's a danger to human life.
Right.
So in the case of danger to human life, just like we say that the Torah is violated, except for the 3 cardinal sins.
Right.
So this would appear not to be one of the 3 cardinal sins. It's not comparable to forbidden relationships between men and women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So where does this leave us now?
Okay, so we did that with Rebbe Kiva, that part of the Mishnah, and then the next part of the Mishnah says the same thing by the saplings. I guess we've done that before. Quotates the tios of Afa Pisha Enu Rishai, even though he's not allowed to do it, because he would be in violation, Rashi says, of Baal Tashchis, the Yisr of Baal Tashchis. So he'd be potter. Even though he's not allowed, he'd be potter. If someone else did it, then they would be liable to pay him because it's his saplings. Okay, fine. Now we go to the Gemora. Alan, would you like to start from the Gemora?
Sure. All right. Page 90b1. The Mishnah states that for a blow to the ear, Rav Yossi Halili obligates the perpetrator to pay a mana. Rule is analyzed. Iboyoa Lahu, they inquired, Mana Tsuri Tanan, did we learn in our Mishnah the Tyrian Mana or O Mana Medina Tanan, or did we learn in our Mishnah a provincial Mana? Gemara replies, Toshma, come, learn the answer. Nahahu Gavra the Sakawe Lahava, for there was a certain man who boxed his fellow's ear. A taller Kab Mehu the Rabi Yehuda the Nisira. The victim came before Rabbi Yehuda Messiah or Malay. Rabbi Yehuda said to the assailant, for honor, or Rabbi Yosei Havarili, here I am, and here is Rav Jose Galili. Go give the man a Tyrian mana. Shema mine mana tzurei tanan. Conclude from this we learned in our Mishnah, a Tyrian mana. The Gemara concludes, Shema mina. Indeed, included from this. We're talking about what type of mana to use, right?
Yeah. What was the proof? Didn't quite follow this case here. What happened in this case? What's the Gemara is bringing a proof to the question of when we say mana in the Mishnah, is it talking about a mana tsuri or a mana medina?
It had to pay a mana for the blow in the ear. And it was telling which mana it was. Tyrian mana or the provincial mana.
Oh, God, the Tokale, the Fabre. Also, we're coming to review the Messiah. So the person, how chaver the Tokale lechabre. There was a certain person who was tokea into the ear of his fellow, and he came before Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya for a judgment, I guess. So what did Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya say? Ha ana ha Rabbi Yossi Aglili.
No.
Here I am, and here is Rabbi Yossi Aglili. Rabbi Yossi Aglili, he's the one who says to pay a mana. That was the one in our Mishnah. He was the one that said pay a mana. Yeah, he's the one
Yeah.
that says. Okay. Then it says Havle Manatsuri. Pay him a mana suri. Okay, so therefore the Gemora concludes Shmamina mana suri tnan. So therefore we can conclude from what Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya said to this person who asked him what's the din. He told him mana suri. So you see that's the type of mana that you have to pay, as opposed to a mana medina. You have to pay a mana tsuri, which I think is a more valuable one. Okay, I'm not quite sure what does it say about what was Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya's. What did he mean when he said ha ana ha Rabbi Yossi Aglili? He meant to say that this case is the case that Rabbi Yossi Aglili said about that case that you pay a mana. It's a very interesting expression that he said over here to me.
The art scroll is silent.
Okay, so I think the reason for this is because the Gemora is going to ask this question in a minute. And that's why the art scroll is silent, and that's why Rashi is silent. If we go a few more lines, we'll see what the answer is. But before we do that...
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, okay. So we got a couple Rashis over here. That Rashi explains us a little bit about Mana Suri and Mana Medina. Lou, would you like to read for us?
Yeah, I'd love to. Let's see. So this should be right after the start of the Gemora. Where is that? Gemora. Mana Suri. Kahamor. This it says.
Oh, this is Chaf Hey over here. It means to refer to a numerical amount.
Oh, 25?
Yeah,
I see. Okay. Salayim, Kuf Zuz, 25 Slayim, which is 100 Zuz.
right.
So he's just clarifying what it's worth. Mana,
Yeah.
Mana Medina, a 100 of the government. She mi nis she be mina turi sela shel Medina chetzi zuz kid amar bishor she negach Hanan Bisha Taka Le Kule. So it's the 100 of the government I don't know what Sheminis is.
Shminis, 1/8.
It's 1/8 of a mana of Turi. That's the name of a city.
I believe so. I think Sur was a northern city, which is
Okay.
a big commercial center.
So that's the previous Rashi, Manasuri.
Yeah,
We found out it's 100 zoos. So this is telling us that a mana Medina is an eighth of the mana of Turi. So it's
right.
like 16 zoos, something like that. Sela shel Medina, a Sela of the city or the government, Chetzi zuz is worth a half of a zuz. As it is stated, Bishor, is that with an ox?
Yeah,
Shenegach, is that gourd?
right. Good. Remember.
Okay, so that's from above Daf Lamed Zion. Hanan Bisha Taka. I don't know that phrase.
Yeah, well, I wonder what Rashi's saying over here. Kedama b'shoshen nagach. Like we say in the chapter, I think that was chapter 4 in Bava Kama, Shoshen Nogach. It said over there, Hanan Bisha Tokale. Somebody named, I think that was his name. Hanan was his name, and Bisha wasn't such a nice guy. Tokale. And so he also there was a tekiah over there as well. What Rashi's bringing over there is that he's telling us where it is that he knows what he's saying. Where does it come from? How does he know this? So he's telling you, I know this from this Gemora in Shoshen Nogach, and then he's telling you the exact section in that chapter.
So what he's saying he knows is the value of the Sela of the Medina.
Oh, what is it that he's telling us that he knows? He's telling us that he knows that the Mana Medina is 1/8 of the Mana Tsuri, and a Sela Medina is worth only a half zuz. I think both of those, if we would look over there, Lamed Zayin, Amud Aleph, that's what we would find over there.
Right. So, but all he's doing is clarifying the values. He's not really helping us with the Shachlevataria.
Right. He's telling us what's the difference between these two.
Right.
The Gemara wants to know, when we say mana, do we mean a mana tsuri, a very valuable mana, or do we mean a mana medina, which is an eighth of the worth of a mana tsuri?
But we don't see mana medina in the Gemara. We see mana Tyrian. Oh, Tyrian is the translation of Tsuri. Yeah. But where's the mana medina?
That's the Gemara's first question. Iboilahu. They had a shaila on the Mishnah. Mana Tsuri Tanan? Is the Mishnah telling us that this mana that Rabbi Yossi Aglili says you have to pay for being Tokea Lechavero, is that mana a mana Tsuri? Oh, mana medina.
Ah, I see. I missed that. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so So that's the story. That's the question. And now we see from this the Gemara brought a proof. Toshma, the Gemara said, come and hear a proof. Come and hear a proof to that question that you've asked. And the proof is from this story with Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya. There was a case that this exactly was done to somebody, and he went before Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya and he asked him, "What's the din?" And so Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya told him that the din is that din is like the Mishnah in Rabbi Yossi Aglili, that he says that you pay a mana. And the Gemara's proof that it adduces over here is because of what Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya said to the guy, Havle Monatsuri, give him a Monatsuri. So we see over there that Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya understood that the Mishnah is saying a Monatsuri is what you have to give. So that we'll see. Is the Gemara going to take that as a proof because that's what Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya said, or are we going to have something to say about that also? We'll see.
Well, I would suggest that it's not Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya so much as it's Rabbi Yossi HaGalili. That Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya is saying, look, Rabbi Yossi HaGalili is the one who made the statement in the Mishnah. So therefore, he's the authority and we go by him. But all Rabbi Yossi HaGalili says in the Mishnah is mana. He didn't. We don't have anything in the Mishnah that indicates to us whether he meant a mana tsuri or a mana medina. And that is exactly what the Gemara is asking. When Rabbi Yossi HaGalili said mana, what did he mean? Did he mean this type of a mana, or did he mean the other type of a mana? Was Rabbi Yossi HaGalili living at the same time as Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya?
Well, Rabbi Yossi HaGalili is in the Mishnah. Right,
so that means it was earlier, right?
Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya, I'm not sure if he is. He's not. He might be. He might be one of the. He might be one of the later generations of the Tanoim. There was, I think, around like 6 generations. or he might be regarded as an Amora. But the point is that Rabbi Yehuda Nasi is not necessarily disagreeing with Rabbi Yehuda with Rabbi Yossi Aglili. He's just clarifying his understanding of what Rabbi Yossi Aglili holds. Because Rabbi Yossi Aglili did all he said was that you pay a mana. That's all it says in the Mishnah. And but that's the Gemara's question. But there's two types of manas. It's like saying like take a modern day example. Let's say a Rav would say you have to pay $100 for this offense, and so then somebody could ask, well, what do you mean by $100? Do you mean American dollars, or do you mean is there some other country that calls it $1? I don't know, maybe not. Australian dollars, right? So it's true, generally speaking, if somebody says dollars and they don't specify what type of dollar it would be, it would obviously be that they're referring to well, it depends where you are, right?
Yeah.
If you're in Australia, you wouldn't have to specify you're talking about Australian dollars. Everybody knows you mean Australian dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So over here, we have a case where Rabbi Yossi Aglili is saying mana. Now he's talking. Where is Rabbi Yossi Aglili living? In the time he's living in the times of the Tanoim, in the Mishnah. He's talking about Eretz Yisrael. But when he says mana, do we mean that he's talking about the mana of the Medina, or is he talking about the mana of this place called Sur? What's he talking about? That's the Gemara's question. Not clear.
Time is up.
Okay. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Bracha batzlacha.
Okay. See you tomorrow, Mr. Hashem.
Bezrat Hashem.
Hopefully, we'll see what happens.
Amen.
Bye. Bye.
Okay.
All the
bye-bye.
best. Bye, Lou. Thank you for hosting. Oh, so for tomorrow, I'm hoping to have my computer.
Okay, so let's be in touch in the morning if you want me to host.
Yeah, I will be in touch. Thank you very much.
All right, Kol Tuv.
All the
Alan, I'll
best.
see you at 4.
Okay. We'll see you later?
Yeah, I'll see you at 5 or 4.
Yeah, okay, good.
All right.
Sounds good.
Take care.